we have team coverage tonight. We have our chief meteorologist, Chris Vickers, meteorologist Matt Willoughby, and we're going to check in with Silver Barker later on in the show. But first, we're going to start off with chief meteorologist Chris Vickers. Chris, what's the weather out there besides hot?
Yeah, hot, and even hotter when you factor in the heat index and what it feels like. And we're going to get through this together. But as we expected, we'd go through that triple-digit reading right around 100 degrees for the majority of the area. That current heat index, as we're now at the peak of the heating into the afternoon, it feels like 101 in Fremont, 100 in Ottawa, 100 even in Napoleon, 102 in Wassiana. We've seen some areas that have gotten close to about 105 degrees. Let me widen the picture out, and this is why we have that alert day in effect. There are areas west of us that also have triple-digit heat index values. Look at Chicago, 112 degrees is where the current heat index is. And right along where some of this heat is really intense across lower Michigan, how about this? We've got some storms that have been erupting. Most of this activity off to our north and to the west. Now, there's a slim chance, and I'll say it a slim chance, some of it may hold together long enough to bring us some rain and perhaps even some temporary relief from the heat and humidity as we go into the evening. We're highlighting a few strong storms, though, that are across central Michigan. Much of this is headed toward the Detroit metro, but we may get clipped on the southern extent of this. So we're going to watch very close. If you're up there in Hillsdale County, Williams, and Lenawee County, we'll watch for the storm threat over the next couple of hours. But the big focus will be after school and what we're expecting as we go into the evening, right around the mid-90s right now, and we will start to break the heat down into Wednesday as we dip back into the upper 80s and lower 90s. Additional storm chances tomorrow could bring some much-needed rain. We'll have that in your full hour-by-hour forecast in just a little bit. We've got team coverage, though, on this alert day. Let's bring in meteorologist Matt Willoughby. And, Matt, these impacts really have been quite extreme through the course of the afternoon.
Yeah, it sure is. Not only throughout Toledo, but also throughout the Midwest. We have seen extreme heat this entire week so far, and especially for our Tuesday, we have definitely seen that extreme heat. So to break it down across the Midwest, we've seen excessive heat warnings and also those heat advisories as well. We've seen pretty much over 42 million people impacted by this heat so far this Tuesday. And as you look at this, these are above average temperatures, so 15 degrees above average for that high temperature across the Midwest, 17 degrees above that high temperature in places like Des Moines. So pretty much everybody experiencing that heat as you go throughout this Tuesday. And right back here at home, though, we're starting to experience more extreme days above 86 degrees. And to average it out for you, we've seen already 18 days above average of 86 degrees right here in Toledo. Now, the total up so far, we've already seen 15 90-degree days this season. Likely we're going to total that up even more as we go throughout the rest of this week and add to that total as we go throughout the end of the week, Chris.
Yeah, Matt, we're going to be looking forward to some cooler relief, though, and we'll get that as we get toward our 10-day forecast. Thank you, meteorologist Matt Willoughby. Highs will teeter right around that 90-degree mark again into Wednesday. A brief back off into the 80s Thursday before. Some more heat and humidity on Friday and some storm chances. But overall, what we're going to be looking forward to, how about this, a cooler and crisp start to the month of September. Below average readings maybe out there toward the end of the holiday weekend and into next week. I'll have that full 10-day forecast coming up in just a little bit. Jeff, back over to you.
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, the city of Toledo plans to plant more than 10,000 trees over the next 5 years, spending $6 million to, in part, reduce urban heat hotspots that have been identified in a recent partnership that was with NOAA.
Silver Barker has a story tonight. Silver, I guess first tell us, what is urban heat?
Well, Kaylee and Jeff, I spoke with the City of Toledo Sustainability Coordinator Beatrice Maringo. Now, urban heat is when the temperature in a specific location rises due to its lack of trees and other greenery, causing it to emit heat. One of the locations marked on that map as the top 10 hottest areas was the Amazon warehouse on the old Southwick Mall property. Maringo says the amount of blacktop and asphalt, along with scarcity of trees, is the reason for it being a warmer location. She says the coolest location is Swan Creek Metro Park because of its trees and minimal asphalt. Instead of emitting heat, the trees and other plants can absorb the heat, keeping it from being released.
So that means only a small part is absorbing that heat energy, which in urban areas, all the heat that is absorbed by pavements and asphalt and roofs gets released back. And therefore you experience higher temperatures longer even in the night because that heat is still in the space.
Now, Maringo also says there are more trees being planted this year, including near the Amazon warehouse. But she says as temperature isn't something that just instantly drops, it will take a while before these trees make the area cooler. In the newsroom, Silver Barker, WTOL 11.